Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2021 Formula 2 season, round 2 of the championship in Monaco. We had an okay time in Bahrain, a decent enough start. We got a few points, but we are far from the championship leader. Monaco qualifying was dreadful. We were second last in our split. And our teammate Deleta, after, spoiler alert, winning the feature race back in Bahrain, is down in last in his split as well. So don't know what's going on there. But Yuri Vips is quickest overall. He'll be on pole position. Joe was fastest in his split. That earns him second, and you can see the rest of the grid and how that will be filled out. But reverse top 10 for the first race of the weekend, so let's get into it.
Monaco, Formula 2 has been welcomed back to this most famous of race locations, and the excitement in the air is building as we count down to the start of today's race. So the Circuit de Monaco, 19 corners making up this famous 2-mile track. It's already one of the slowest tracks in the calendar, and in these difficult conditions, we can expect average speeds to be even lower still. And even with that, it's fair to assume that we may well see the safety car out at some point during the race. I'm joined by a man who's had many a wet race, Davide Valsecchi. Just how challenging will these conditions be out there on track?
Delighted to be here, Alex. Even in this weather, nothing will be easy for them. We may have standing water, which means visibility will be a worry. They just need to stay clear of the white lines and curbs. That can cause you a real problem when it's so slippery.
So here we are on the grid then for the first sprint race in Monaco. Strategy doesn't matter because we'll just be playing it by the weather anyway. But yeah, wet compound tyres to start this one, and we'll just use them until the track dries up as we get ready now to go to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the first sprint race in Monaco, and we get a rubbish start. And I'm just going to let everyone go on the run into the first corner. I don't want to be fighting for any positions, so we're just going to take it easy. And now I'm just going to be honest about this race. We had absolutely rubbish pace. I decided to go for an early pit stop onto dry compound tyres to see if we could gain anything as the track conditions were improving, but we weren't any faster, and we eventually just stuck it in the wall. And that was the end of our sprint race 1.
Brilliant stuff from ART today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out of everything else. The car, the strategy. They managed to keep out of trouble the whole way round.
An amazing race today, and a very well-deserved one too. The team worked very hard to get exactly the right setup out of the F2 car that works for them, and the results speak for themselves. ARTGP winners today.
So it is Christian Lundgaard who wins sprint race 1 in Monaco. Dan Ticktum takes second position with Marcus Armstrong in third.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from ART this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Honestly, I don't think there's much to comment on in the race we just saw, so let's just move on to sprint race 2 and try and save our weekend. Alright, so here we are on the grid then for the second sprint race of the weekend. So that's reverse top 10 of the first sprint race. Doesn't affect us because we are starting down the back anyway. But thankfully the weather improves for this one. So that won't be a concern for us. Going to be sunny conditions with a little bit of cloud at the end, but no worries, no rain. So let's now go to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the second sprint race in Monaco. Is a good start as we have a look to the outside. We'll see if we can make a move. Have to back out a bit early, but we will eventually find some space as we go around the outside of Liam Lawson, who cuts the corner a bit there, but we do make the move stick on the Kiwi driver and move ourselves up into 17th as we get a bit caught up on the bumps there, and we have to defend from Lawson, but we're able to hold on as we now look at the back of the 2 Campos cars as we go down the inside, and we might try and get both of them. No, we have to back out of that one. In fact, we slow down so much that Lawson's trying to go around the outside. Into the wall goes Lawson, and that's damage for him in the Red Bull liveried car there as we try and sneak up the inside and gain a couple of places, and we do get past both of those Campos cars, and we got very close to the back there of the Dams car of Arena Sani, but we did grab Boschung and Beckman as we move on to lap number 2 now. We sneak around the outside of Nassani, who was just caught up in the queue through the hairpin there as he was going very, very slowly, and we're able to grab that spot as well, and we are now up into 14th position. So it's been a very good start for us in the opening couple of laps as we have to go very hesitantly through the tunnel there. But as long as we can keep making overtakes, I believe the hairpin could be a good overtaking opportunity for us. And in fact, we go again just a moment later, and we get another position around the outside of the hairpin, that one on Jane Deruvala. And we are only on the 4th lap of the race now, so we are making steady progress through the field as we continue on. A bit of audio issues returning once again as we go up the inside, and we squeeze through and make the move stick on Bent Biscal in Trident, and that moves us up another position. Continuing on then, we go for another move down the inside into the Nouvelle Chicane, and that brings us ahead of Christian Lundgaard. Next up is Richard Bashaw, and very soon we'll be getting into the points at this rate as we have a look at the replay of our move on Lundgaard. He had to take to the little bit of shortcut road that's there, but anyway, we tried to squeeze up the inside of Bashaw into the hairpin. Didn't work out for us, so we slid in behind the Dutchman once again, but we're really looking around and trying to find a bit of a gap somewhere. Maybe into the chicane once again will be the way to go as we sit behind him through the tunnel. We go for a big lunge down the inside, and we make the move stick as we hit the fast forward trigger there. Whoops. But yes, we made that move stick as we have a bit of a lose on the way out of to back. That's a bit sketchy, but we made it work and made it stick. As we continue on then, we make another move down the inside. Oh, so close to the Carlin car there of Dan Ticktum, and we made that one stick through to back. So the moves are getting more and more aggressive as we go around the outside of Robert Schwartzman, as we are absolutely flying through the field now, up into 8th position. We're in the points, and we have the fastest lap of the race. So what a turnaround from the previous race where we had no pace and crashed into the wall. Now we are absolutely flying as we go around the outside once again, and we are just trying to squeeze up the inside, and we will just about get there on Marcus Armstrong as we have a bit of a loose mid-corner. Very lucky not to make contact there with Armstrong. Such limited space through there, but we managed to make it work and get ahead of Armstrong. Next up is Fittipaldi. Let's see if we can get a move done on him as we get a little bit of a swapper on through the swimming pool section, that inside curve, sending the car into a slide. Lucky to save that one and not come into contact with any of the barriers. Anyway, we have a Brazilian to chase after, so let's get back onto the job at hand, and we're going to go for a big dive into the Nouvelle Chicane, and we'll get the move done there as we have done many times in this race. And that's some job done on Fittipaldi. Next up is Piastri, but unfortunately, as you can see, we're on the final lap of the race, and our pace kind of stalled out a bit after we got past Fittipaldi. I didn't have enough to catch Piastri. I was never really gaining time, but up the road, Jüri Vips has won Sprint Race 2 in Monaco, and the Estonian driver has done the job today as we come through the final corner to complete a pretty fantastic comeback drive, as we tried to do a bit of a drift. Didn't really work, but nonetheless we're going to come across the line to finish in P6. And Jeff is speechless. He's got nothing to say on that. So there we go. We get the driver of the day, of course, with that one. So I'm pretty happy to bring home a couple of points for the efforts today. Are we gonna go to the cutscene, or are we just gonna keep driving around? Seriously, we're like almost at the hairpin. We've finished the first sector. Game, are you okay? How long is this gonna go for? There we go.
A great win then for High-Tech GP today. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
And as they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the High-Tech GP team. It was an incredible performance today, and they fully deserve to stand on the top step.
So Jüri Vips wins Sprint Race 2 in Monaco. Second place goes to Teo Porcher, with Marino Sato in third.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams' Championship. It was also a strong race from Trident this weekend. Fantastic work from the Italian team to move themselves further up the table. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment when Formula 2 returns.
So, Jüri Vips takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship, 1 point ahead of Oscar Piastri. Deleda drops to third. And we stay put. I think we were in 7th and we remain in that position. We continue to lead the Teams Championship. So all things considered, I think we are doing okay at the moment, considering how the weekend started. And I think with the pace we had in that race, I think we can do quite well in the feature race. Got a good feeling about it after that one. We've had plenty of practice around this track now. We know where to overtake and where to perhaps hold back a little bit by now. So I think with a longer race, more laps, more chances to overtake, and 2 sets of tyres to use at our disposal, I think we could potentially do something special in the feature race. But of course, there is a strategy as well that can help us, so we'll have to see how that goes. That was a really close move there with Richard Verschoor, and I think surely there was contact through all that, but no damage, but it was very, very fine margins there, and of course we did eventually end up completing the move down here into the Nouvelle Chicane, but yeah, it's almost impossible to overtake around here without, sort of forcing the other car to either cut the Nouvelle Chicane or just putting them in a really awkward position, like we did with Liam Lawson on the first lap, where he ended up in the wall on the left on the exit of Mirabeau, because there's just not enough space for 2 cars. But yeah, it all worked in our favour today, and we're able to gain significant ground. The start was very important to gain places there. Otherwise, I don't think we would have had a chance to to compete for the points. So that'll be the first focus of the feature race, to make sure we get a good start. So let's get into it and see what we can do.
Monaco. Formula 2 has been welcomed back to this most famous of race locations, and the excitement in the air is building as we count down to the start of today's race. The Circuit de Monaco is, for all practical purposes, pretty much unchanged since its 1929 introduction. It's strange to consider, but this 2.1 mile lap will take the drivers here around almost an entire country. 19 corners, but not that many opportunities for overtaking. Instead, this is a track that rewards technical skill. I'm Alex Jakes, and I'm joined once again by the GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. Davide, today's race takes place on one of the most infamous street circuits in motorsports. What is it about this track that makes it stand out?
Alex, I'm very happy to be here. Monaco is a short track, but the wall is just after the white line. The drivers need to stay aware from the line and from the wall, and this is so important to start in the first two rows if you want to compete for the victory.
Here is the grid for today's race, which will be starting shortly. Yuri Vips will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from him, with Guan Yu Zhou alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Pourchaire, Schwartzman, Oscar Piastri, and Armstrong, Fiscal, Tictum, Dragovic, Christian Lundgaard, Nissani, Sato, Jan Daruvala, and Vishor, Fiscal, Lawson, Beckman, and Guilherme Samaya. Aitken, Boschon, Zendelli, and Alessio Deleda rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright, so here we are on the grid then for the feature race in Monaco. We're actually starting on the harder of the available compounds, the soft tyres, and then finishing on the super softs. So a bit of a backwards strategy here, but it may well work for us. We'll see as we go to the 5 red lights. Looks like everyone else is on this strategy as well. Lights out and away we go for the feature race in Monaco, and we have to go aggressive off the start on the inside. We're going to make a big lunge down the inside of a whole bunch of cars, and we immediately are up a whole host of places as we now race Marino Sato up the hill. Sato holds on to that one as there's battles going on up ahead. That is Nissani and Lundgaard going side by side into the casino, and now they will continue the fight down towards Mirabeau. We go for a big lunge up the inside. We might grab Nissani here as we have a look up the inside. Not quite able to get there, but that was very close to being able to make a move as we have a big lunge now up the inside and make a bit of contact with Bakadan Tictum as Felipe Dragovic had to take some avoiding action there, and that brings out a yellow flag briefly as the Brazilian was very slow through the hairpin and holding up a bit of the queue. But yeah, we're very, very aggressive there, and it's brought us up into 9th position, so we've already made up for the qualifying in basically just the first sector and a bit. So crazy start for us, but anyway, we continue to march forth in this race, and we send one up the inside of Dan Tictum, make the move stick there, and we get very held up there through the hairpin by Marcus Armstrong, but able to avoid contact. But we're already up into 8th position, so what took us quite a few laps to do in the previous race, we've done very early in this one with an ultra aggressive start. So it's gone well for us so far. So let's see if we can make a move on Armstrong now and continue this momentum. We go up the inside into turn 1, very close to contact on the front left there, but we managed to just about squeeze through, and we both get away with it. But yeah, that was very, very close between us there. And now we go for an almighty dive down the inside of Enzo Fittipaldi, and we make the move there on him. So that was a very late move, but we were able to make it work. And now we can shift our attention to Robert Schwartzman as we go for another slide over that curb through the swimming pool section. It's very, very sketchy through there as we now go for the move up the inside, almost up the inside of Robert Schwartzman. We had to think about it. He left a space, but we couldn't carry the speed through the mid-corner of turn 1 there. So we're going to go for the move now into Mirabeau. No, we can't quite do it there. It's going to be around the outside of the hairpin, I think. as we have a little look. Schwartzman gives us the room, and we're able to make our way around the outside. Yeah, they're so slow through that section of the track. Through the rest, we're fairly comparable, but yeah, through the Lowe's hairpin, they really do not carry any speed at all. So yeah, it is quite relatively easy to make a move there, as we now make another one on Guan Yu Zhou, and we get the move done there, just carrying a better momentum around the outside and not hugging the inside, and trying to cover the line, and yeah, it works out for us. So as we continue on, we're going to do it once again as we sit behind Oscar Piastri. We'll probably try and make the same move as we actually no, we're going to wait this time and see what else we can do. Maybe not feeling quite as confident at this stage of the race to make that move around the outside, but we will find another opportunity as we now head through the tunnel, but it's not there where we will go for it. We now head into the first corner. We can't make a move there either, but we're relatively close as we head up Beau Rivage into Massenet, up the inside of Piastri, and that's a nice move there. Not a conventional overtaking place, but we're able to make it work as we just about get through Casino over the bump there, but we were able to make that move work and get ahead of him, but that was very, very fine on that one. But we continue on, and we are now looking at Teo Pourchaire and Yuri Vips up ahead. We squeeze up the inside of Pourchaire as we now run side by side, very close to the left hand side wall there on the exit of the Nouvelle Chicane, but we're able to make it work. Now we're on the back of Vips and we go around the outside of the hairpin, and we're up into the lead of the race out of nowhere. We've gone from more or less last on the grid, what I say, we were second last in our split, to now leading the feature race. So that is an incredible comeback, and we still have the pit stops to go. So things are looking very, very good at this stage. We just need to maintain our focus and make sure we don't make any mistakes, which is a lot easier said than done, as we found out in the first race of this round. But the time comes to make our pit stop. You can see we didn't actually pull away from Yuri Vips very much, and the reason is our front wing is actually damaged. I'm not 100% sure when that happened, but yeah, we got front wing damage. We need to change it, and that's actually going to cost us a whole bunch of positions, and we're going to need to try and take those back by the end of the race. So this one is far from over, and you can see on the pit exit an issue there for Dan Ticktum, and we drove straight through him. But yeah, that was a very weird one for Ticktum, as we managed to just about get ahead of Samaya, who is yet to stop. But we continue on, and once everyone else makes their stop, it'll give us an idea of our real position in this race, and we re-emerge in P6 as things stand, and we've got Enzo Fittipaldi ahead of us once again. So let's see if we can chase down the Brazilian as we head through. Can we make a move into Mirabeau down the inside very late, almost into the outside wall there, but we did make it stick and get ahead of Enzo Fittipaldi. I was just imagining the car plowing straight ahead there. How we got that stopped, I'm not entirely sure, but we made it work, so that's what is the most important thing. But anyway, Guan Yu Zhou up next, so let's see if we can overtake the Chinese driver. We'll probably go for a bit of a safer place to make a move, and we'll go for that outside run, as Zhou is very slow again on the apex there. We go around the outside and get ahead of the Chinese driver in the UNI Virtuosi Mobile, and we head out of 48 into the tunnel, and we're up into 4th position at the moment. So making very nice progress through the field as we now shift our attention forwards, and we'll see if we can make another move around the outside of Oscar Piastri into the hairpin. We get up the inside of the lower Mirabeau, and we get through there. So not quite able to make the traditional move around the outside of the hairpin, but still able to make the move stick in the end. But yeah, Piastri proving one of the harder cars to overtake this weekend, and we've had to go for some non-traditional moves on him as we go around the outside of Portier through the chicane. That was relatively easy, and now we shift our attention for the final time on Yuri Vips, and he is once again the only car between us and the victory. So let's see if we can overtake him before the end of the race. We've got some time on our hands, so we can afford it to be patient, but again, we can just about sneak around the outside of the hairpin, and we make the move stick on Vips, and we're up into the lead once again. Here is a replay of that move. You can see just able to carry the speed more, taking that wider line, and I don't know if it's a bit banked or something. I'm not sure what the difference is, but we just seem to be so much faster once we get around the outside, and then once we get the overlap, that really is the end of the story for them, because they have to leave space once we get that overlap on the outside, or it'll be a crash. So yeah, it is a fairly surefire way to make a move, so long as we can get that bit of an overlap on the outside and get some decent traction on the exit. It is a fairly easy move to make, so I'll have to keep that one in mind when we return to Monaco next. But anyway, we are now in first position on the final lap of the race, so there is not a lot left for us to do other than complete the second half of this lap, and we will bring home our first win of the season. And what a place to do it in Monaco, as we head through the swimming pool section for the final time. And now only a couple of corners between us and the end, and we're taking it nice and easy. We've got time on our hands between us and the car behind. We're staying well away from the walls as we now can see the finish line, and we are going to cross it in first position, race winner in Monaco. And once again, Jeff has got nothing to say on that. My goodness. Driver of the day, once again, 25 points in the bank. I think we got the fastest lap as well, so I can't complain. We're doing this again, aren't we? We're just gonna keep going. Is it going to be this? I wonder if it's going to cut away at the same point as it did last time. Because it was just before Portier, I think it cut off, or just after this corner. We'll see. As we, yep, same place.
A nearly flawless performance here then, and a commanding victory. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
What a race, Alex. Every so often we get a spectacular like we did today. Less focus on strategy and time management, and more on just pushing it to the limits and battling it out for those top positions. I think what we experienced today is evidence of why Formula 2 is continuing to draw into crowds, and expect today's race will definitely be turning a few more heads to the series.
I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of the race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
So it's a race win for us, a feature race win no less, and our first of the season. Yuri Vips finishes in second position with Teo Porcher in third.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. On to the teams then. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'll be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So we rocket our way up into second in the drivers' standings. Yuri Vips with that second position holds on to the lead, but still only by a singular point ahead of us now. Oscar Piastri is third, 7 points adrift. The leader drops into fifth position, I think, about 20 points behind. And in the teams, we're ahead of Prema by 19 points. So things are looking good for us after this weekend. I didn't think Monaco would be the round where we bounce back after a bit of a bumpy start in Bahrain. But yeah, it's been a really good round for us, a horrible round for the leader. So that's unfortunate after his results. In the first round I expected a little more potentially, but anyway, we'll see how Deletta goes over the rest of the season, but it was a very interesting sight in the first round with how well he was going there. But nonetheless, I'm very happy with the way the race went today. You could see how aggressive we were, and how aggressive we had to be off the start to make those places, and it worked for us. It's crazy to think that we're already a quarter of the way through the season in just 2 rounds. So yeah, it's really a compressed format in this season. So yeah, every single point is going to be crucial, and especially in qualifying, we need to work on that. We're lucky today that we're able to make good starts and make up for the bad qualifying, but that's not always a guarantee. So we need to work on that, and qualifying is also worth points. You get a couple of points for 4 bonus points for winning in qualifying, so we need to try and maximize those as well, because Yuri Vips and Oscar Piastri are looking very, very fast. So yeah, we're going to need to really watch out for them in this season. They seem to be the most consistent so far, but yeah. Other than that, then, I don't think there is too much else left to cover. We'll just continue to the championship fight in the next round. So, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate it. And if you have any feedback, any tips, anything you think could make the videos a little better, there's plenty of space in the comments for that. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.